Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. So last week I was invited to a jam night. So here in the UK things are starting to open up a bit where we can have things like jam nights as long as they're outdoor only at the moment. This jam night would have a drummer and a bass player there, but there was no guitar amp. So we had to plug our guitars into the mixer just straight in, which if you've ever tried plugging an electric guitar directly into a mixer, usually sounds pretty horrible. So I decided to put a pedal board together which would allow me to plug my electric in and still get a decent sound. I decided not to go on the acoustic route today. On that day I wanted to do an electric performance. So whipped out the HX Stomp, updated the firmware in it and put a little pedal board together. So the HX Stomp only has 3 switches on it, so it's quite limited, but it is very small and compact, so pros and cons. So I decided to put a pedal in front of it, and I put this pedal in front of it, the JHS Bonsai. So it's essentially a tube screamer. Well, strictly speaking, it's 9 tube screamers in one pedal. I've actually done a review of the JHS Bonsai, so if you're interested in that, please click on the card up there and check that out as well. So I did it. It sounded fine. It was good. As good as it could be at a jam night, but I decided to make some changes, which is what this video is about. So I've decided to swap this out for the Tumnus, the Wampler Tumnus, which is essentially a Klon. I've also done a review on that, so check that one out as well. So there was a reason I swapped it out. I'll go more into detail on that in the actual main part of this video. So this is basically going to walk you through me putting that new setup together. You're going to come along for the journey with me and just see how I'd put this together and how it would sound, and if it's the kind of thing that you might want to do for a gig that you might be getting ready for. So the premise of this is not so much rock, but more along the lines of something a bit more low gain. So the amp model I've got on the HX Stomp is a Fender Deluxe Reverb model. And just some pedals that might work with that, some virtual pedals that might work with that, as well as the Tumnus. So anyway, stick around, check it out, and I hope you enjoy. So this is my setup that I put together last week for the jam night. The only difference is the Tumnus here wasn't the Tumnus, it was the JHS Bonsai, so basically a tube screamer. And as I explained in my intro, I kind of realised there's a better way of doing this. So the Stomp is set up the same way as it was last week, where I've got the kinky boost here for a bit of light drive. Let's have a listen actually. Here's my clean sound. Here's a bit of kinky boost, which I believe is meant to be an EP booster by Exotic. And that can go into the Diana drive, which is a model of the Zen drive, I believe. So slightly more gain, and you can stack them together as well and get... even more drive. So that's like a nice solo sound. And I thought I want something else, so that's why I added the Bonsai, so the tube screamer. Only problem is what I should have done was put the tube screamer on here and put something else in the pedal position beforehand so I can boost that. So that's the idea, because when I use the Bonsai as the solo pedal, that's essentially before the kinky boost, and I'd like to use the kinky boost or whatever I was going to put there as essentially, strangely, like a tube screamer to boost the tube screamer. Apparently Stevie Ray Vaughan used to use 2 tube screamers to get his lead sound. If you know that, if that's true or not, let me know in the comments below. So what I've decided to do instead is rearrange the Stomp a little bit, put the Tumnus, which is basically a Klon, in front, and then I can use that to boost some stuff that's in here. So I might change a few things around. I've got an idea. I think I want to have a Klon and a tube screamer and maybe something else. So this is going to take the place of the kinky boost. So maybe let's start with that. What's my clean sound? Okay, so let's turn on the Tumnus. hold on a second. I'm an idiot. That's my input. It's not even going through the Tumnus at the moment. Alright, cut video. Alright, we're back, and that was a blooper moment right there. I'll probably leave that in though, because why not? So, let's try that again. Alright, so here's my clean sound. Here's the Tumnus on, set to how I'd normally have it set. So slightly gainy, which is kind of how I like it. Clean again. Just had to tune there. There we go. Clean sound again. Yeah, that sounds quite nice. I like that. Okay, so that's the Tumnus sorted. Let's change view. So now we've got the blocks here. What do we want to change? I'm going to change the Diana drive to a tube screamer. So I've got the Tumnus off. Let's change this. Where is the tube screamer? Here we go. Scream 808. Oh, here we go. So this is going to be the tube screamer sound. Kind of sounds good straight out the box. And it's still attached to this switch here, so I can turn that off. Might bring that up a bit. Yeah, so my aim for this pedalboard is not necessarily like a rock pedalboard, so it's more, I don't know, bluesy R&B, kind of, that kind of thing. Maybe a little bit of rock, because that's kind of the music of my people. I don't want to disown them at all. So, there's my tube screamer sound. In fact, I might even bring the gain down even more. So what happens when we boost it with the Tumnus? Here's my Tumnus again. Tube screamer. So tonally it's nice, I like it. It could do with a volume boost if it's like for a solo. Maybe I can have that as a separate pedal. In which case, what I could do, let's try, so kinky boost, I think the only thing I changed was the drive, that's the only thing you can change. 4.5, put that in the memory banks, and let's change the pedal, so let's go to, there it is, minus all. So this is essentially the Tumnus here. Just out of interest. That's the Tumnus sound. It's a very similar sound. Obviously some of the controls might be slightly different. So I think they're roughly the same. In my ears at the moment they sound kind of the same. Let's bring the tube screamer back. Does it sound the same as this? They sound very comparable actually. Let me do this actually. Let's try this then. So I'm going to move the tube screamer into this first position. So it's essentially going to swap. It's going to swap the two. I'm going to click action. Let's move that to the left. So it's swapped them round. Okay, good. And I'm going to change. Actually, let's want to see which one's which. So this. Okay, that still turns on the tube screamer. Yeah, so tube screamer, which hopefully you can see there is Scream 808. This one's Minotaur. I want to swap them round, so I'm going to touch these two. I don't need to press them down. I'm just going to touch them to touch the two. You're going to swap them round. Okay, yes I do. So swap them round. That's one of the cool things about the Helix, the HX Stomp, and the full-fledged Helix as well, is that you can these kind of capacitive touch controls. All right, so you've got the Tumnus on. So this is like a kind of clean sound that I might be using. I want a bit of more of a slightly gained up sound. That's with the tube screamer. Maybe I want a bit more gain out of the tube screamer actually, so let's turn that gain up a little bit. Maybe I will use that as like a solo kind of. That'll do. I don't want too much gain because again I'm trying not to go for this like heavy rock thing. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do now is change this second block to something else, something that maybe we can push the volume a bit. So I could put a volume pedal there, but maybe let's go back to the kinky boost again, because that seemed to do well last time. So let's try that and see what happens. That's already quite louder, which I like, which is kind of what we're using it for. Tube screamer. Adding in the kinky boost. Yeah, okay, that seems to be doing it. Drive, turn that down a little bit. We had 4.5 last time. Oh, turn my volume up first. Off. So it's kind of adding a third gain stage to the proceedings. So at the moment, we're going into the Tumnus, so into the Klon, into the tube screamer, and then pushing the volume a bit with the kinky boost. Just out of interest, how does that sound on its own, the kinky boost? It's adding a bit of drive. I might even turn that down a little bit more. Let's try 3.5. And let's see how it works as a solo boost. So here's my slightly more driven sound. Oh, so in case you couldn't see that on the screen, I just saw this boost function here, turned it on, and it did boost it quite significantly. So I could possibly use that for if I wanted to boost it even more. But let's try that again. So here's my clean sound, or not my clean sound, here's my pre-solo boost sound. Yeah, I'm liking that. And let's try with the boost on. I think the boost might be too much actually, so I'll turn the boost on, turn the pedal off for a minute. So this is before the solo boost. Right, so I've just turned that boost off. It sounds like it might be a little bit too loud, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell when you're not on a gig, when you're not playing live. So I'm going to leave it off for the moment, but if I use this live, then I can see if I want that boost on or off. So at the moment I'm going to leave it off, but this is sounding quite good at the moment. So let's go. Here's my clean sound. Adding in the Tumnus. Adding in the Tube Screamer. Adding in the Kinky Boost for the solo boost. Let's try adding the bright. So there's a bright knob here, which you can turn on or off. Let's turn it on. Off. On. I think I like it on, actually, because I noticed it a bit dark when I turned this Kinky Boost on, at least with the neck pickup. So let's try that again. So that's Tumnus and Tube Screamer. Yeah, that sounds very natural progression. It just sounds like it's boosting it a bit. So I'm going to leave the bright on. I've got my drive here and the Kinky Boost at 3.5, and I think that's good. We can add, let's go back to that performance view, add some delay. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to save it, so always remember to save, just like on your computer. Okay, so that's saved. Obviously, I'm running into the model of the deluxe reverb here, so I'm going for that kind of clean bass, pedal platform, and adding in just the drive pedals where necessary. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. That was just a little bit of taking you on a journey of with me to get this ready for a jam night, or maybe even for a small gig. Which yeah, I could I've got some of those coming up. Luckily, I think most of them are next year though. But this setup here could work really well for some of the R&B gigs I've got coming up. In fact, for the R&B gig, I'll probably add a vibrato in there as well. I do have one space left, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you're still here, thank you for sticking around. I hope that was fun for you. It definitely was interesting for me. And if you did enjoy that, please consider clicking the like button, giving me a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing, because I'm still trying to reach my first 1,000 subscribers, and that will go a long way to helping me reach that. But yeah, as I said, again, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy these videos. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. So take care.